The question is, what is a philosophy consultation? Well, first of all, in general, a consultation is a dialogue where someone will meet some kind of expert and have a dialogue in order to get some assistance, some help, right? So it can be a sort of enlightened dialogue, right? And there's all kind of consultation, kind of a consultation with a banker, with an accountant, with a psychologist, whatever. And of course, the purpose and the nature of the consultation will differ depending on what you want to accomplish, what you expect from this expert. So it means both then two elements, expertise and dialogue. Now, in a philosophical consultation, there will be a dialogue, of course, and an expertise, which will be the fact someone is familiar, knowledgeable about philosophy as a culture, philosophy as a practice, philosophy as the art of thinking. So then the question is, what is the purpose? Why would someone go see a philosophy consultant? Why would he engage in a dialogue with such an expert? Now, the first thing to say is that in opposition to often what is considered philosophy, which is a very erudite, a very the philosopher is the person who knows a lot of things about philosophy. So in this case, people would think it looks more like getting a private lecture, private tutoring about philosophical knowledge, right? But a philosophical consultation, as I think about it, and a number of people think about it, is more working on one's thinking. You know, in general, most human beings, because they're not trained, because they don't have experience in such an activity, have a rather chaotic and anxious thinking. These are the main two characteristics of thinking which has not been developed, which has not been worked through, right? First, the person is worried, is anxious, which means that there is a lot of compulsive behavior. It's a rather negative conception of thoughts, right? We worry. And the second thing is rather chaotic, is not ordered. So when we go see a philosophy consultant, we're going to engage in some kind of practice, the way we would practice when we go to the gym club. We know how to move our legs, our arms, but we don't move it in a very precise, very aesthetic, very organized way. So the coach, the gym teacher, will train us to have a more appropriate type of bodily behavior that is more peaceful, more aesthetic, more efficient as well because of this. So when we go see the philosopher for a consultation, first of all, he's going to make us conscious of our difficulty, of our problems, the way we don't really know what we're doing when we are speaking, the fact we are rushing too much, the fact we worry too much when we speak and we don't dare express our thoughts. So he's going to make us conscious of our difficulty. And the second thing is going to ask us to clarify our thoughts, to be more clear, to be more straightforward, to be more precise. And in that sense, we will be more conscious of our thinking. We will master better our thinking. And another important point is that he will get us to be unstuck from our usual patterns of thinking, from our repetitive type of thoughts, and invite us to engage into different type of thinking, to emit different hypotheses, different ideas, and therefore invite us to have a more critical position toward our ideas, because often we through beliefs, through opinions, and we get stuck and we think there's only one way to think, so we keep repeating a lot of the same ideas. So through his demands, through his questioning, through the dialogue, he's going to make us both have a more fluid type of thinking and as well to be more creative, to engage in different type of thoughts, which are sort of liberating because it's not simply intellectual activity, but it has to do with our existence. And maybe the main problems we have in our existence is we're stuck with certain ideas and we're not even conscious of those ideas. So in this way, a philosophical consultation is a sort of liberation from oneself through liberating the thinking.